Hey everybody, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Walk in Love Weekly. I'm your host TJ Mousetis. Excited to be here and answer your questions about life, family, business, marriage, etc. So glad that you are joining us. Thank you for coming. If you're new to the show, this is the show where I do answer your questions that I get from Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. However you want to send those questions, smoke signal them in. We'll answer them. We talk about any topic other than politics because we do not want to alienate 50% of our audience based on our views. But really what we want to do is inspire you to live a more inspirational life, to go out there and chase your dreams, do what you want to do, and do it all for the glory of God. But before we get into those questions, I always like to go over a few trending topics. And so this week, the trending topics for me are Super Bowl memes. So obviously the Super Bowl is this weekend. The Eagles won. We're in Pennsylvania, so we were really excited about that. I'm not personally a huge Eagles fan, but I was rooting for them because I was happy for all my friends. But the memes that are coming in from the Super Bowl are just so good. People on the internet are so creative. But here are a few of my favorites. You got Bob Ross basically painting Justin Timberlake's shirt, which is hysterical. This meme about the stylist, a stylist asking JT what he wants. And Justin replies, "Make me look like I just walked out of a Goodwill in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, $1.80 poorer, but with Jordans." And then the stylist says, "Say no more." And then obviously there was the kid who took the selfie with Justin Timberlake and then was instantly on his phone. And he tells that story. He's been on the news and stuff. He tells that story like he was trying to make sure the photo was saved. You know, obviously, if you take a selfie with Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl while he's performing, you want to double check that photo is saved. But the meme has been that he was Googling who is Justin Timberlake because he is so young. And then there's obviously been a bunch of memes since then about, you know, like people have been using this meme as like, you know, what time is fill in the blank, or, you know, I just met Branch from Trolls, or like just funny stuff like that. But I thought the Super Bowl was such a good game. It was so enjoyable to watch. And there was, you know, it was a good game. I was a little bit late to watching it. I had an event here at Supply, but I did really enjoy it. It was a really good game, back and forth. The commercials I thought were so-so. I wasn't blown away by any commercial and thought like, oh, that was the best ever. I did enjoy the halftime show. Thought Justin Timberlake did a good job. I was actually kind of glad that there wasn't like these like surprise guests. I feel like that gets kind of tiresome year in and year out. So like I was kind of glad that he just sort of ran the show by himself. But yeah, it was overall a very good show, very enjoyable Super Bowl, and very glad that the Eagles won. All of my friends that are going to the parade tomorrow, I believe, are so pumped up about it. So I'm excited to see kind of how big it is. And I think the coolest part about the Super Bowl was Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, Zach Ertz, Doug Peterson, all just saying like this is all for Jesus. And I know that can kind of get tiresome in culture. Like we see, let me pick on a rapper. You know, rappers go up and they win their Grammy and they're like, yeah, I want to thank God. And then their raps are filled with just vulgarity and disgustingness. And you're just like, I don't know if I really believe that you are honoring God, you know, because your music is filled with disgusting things and ideas. But, you know, seeing those Eagles players play and just seeing their character on and off the field, I felt like it was a really authentic moment for them to give glory to God. And you know, I think people can roll their eyes and Christians can kind of like, oh, whatever, foo-foo it, like, you know, God doesn't care about football, blah, 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 blah. And honestly, God doesn't care about football, but he cares about the people who love him. He cares about the people who honor him. And I think whether win or lose, those guys were going to honor Jesus and what he does for them, not on the field, but just in their lives and in their hearts. And I thought that was really cool. So I definitely enjoyed the Super Bowl. I came across another trending topic recently in the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you guys saw this on the interwebs, but apparently you can now bring an emotional support peacock on the plane. So this woman, I don't know where she was flying to. I just found these photos and saw little blips of the story, but she, like you would bring an emotional support dog or a seeing eye dog, she brought a peacock on the plane. And so this has kind of been happening a lot lately where people are bringing on pigs and like possums and just like super ferrets and like super random animals. And it's getting ridiculous, okay? Like we as a society cannot be so emotionally fragile that we have to come with a peacock to be able to get on a plane. let's be real. All animals are emotional support animals. That's why you get an animal, so you can love it and take care of it and have it, wag its tail when it sees you or rub up against your legs. And so, like, we can't just bring them on airplanes, though. Like, there's got to be some civility to our culture and some civility to our life. Like, can you imagine having to sit down next to this peacock? Like, I don't trust birds. Like, they're scary. Like, what's gonna peck at you? And like, there was a story recently about a pig on a plane, and like, it was running up and down the aisles. They couldn't get it to calm down. It was probably pooping everywhere. And so, like, enough is enough. And actually, I heard recently that they're actually cracking down on this. And so, like, you have to sort of have whatever the paperwork is to say, hey, this is an emotional support animal, because they won't let you on the plane anymore because of people like this, because it's getting out of hand, and you're bringing giant peacocks on planes. Okay, enough is enough. If you need to bring a peacock on a plane to get on that plane, my guess is that you probably shouldn't be flying. Just my personal opinion, but that's how I feel. So every week I like to talk about movies I've seen. So I have a Movie Pass. If you guys know what Movie Pass is, this is not an endorsement or an advertisement, but Movie Pass is a subscription to go to as many movies as you want in the theater. And I have one, and I usually talk about what movie I've seen every week. But this week I didn't see any movies. As you can see, the screen is blank. I did not see any movies. We've been a little bit busy with our newborn, and just haven't had the time to get to the theater. But there's a couple that I want to see. I want to see the new Maze Runner movie. I want to see Black Panther, which I think comes out this week. But yeah, I hope to get there this weekend and maybe catch a movie or something like that. But yeah, life has been a little bit hectic for us. We obviously have a couple businesses that we run, my wife and I, and we have a newborn who's kind of going through that like fussy 2-week-old period where at like 7 o'clock at night she gets a little bit loud. And it can get a little challenging because I work all day, and then I come home and from I usually get home around 5:30, and then from that point until bedtime for June, which is 8 o'clock, I am on June duty to give Brooke a break, and we're playing hide and seek, and we're running up and down, and we're building forts, and we're doing all this. And so and then I put her to bed around 8 o'clock, and then I sit down, and then that's when Sunny, our second daughter, gets a little frustrated with life, and it takes some coercing to get her to fall asleep at that time. I don't know what it is. Our neighbors and friends have a baby around the same age, and they have the same thing. And so last night I actually had to take her for a drive. So I got her all packed up, put her in the car, and drove around for 30 minutes. So life, it hasn't exactly been relaxing on work front or on the home front, but there's always a season like this in life, and you just kind of got to roll with the punches and not lose your temper and communicate with your wife. And it's really hard. It can be challenging at times to have a crying baby and just feel like I just want to put my feet up and just relax. And so that can add some tension, but Brooke and I are doing well, and we're working through that. I've got a couple of questions from you guys. Every week I like to answer your questions about anything you really want to talk about, to hopefully provide some value to you. I know that a lot of young businesses follow Walk in Love, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are looking for Christian advice on business. And Brooke and I have been happily married for over 8 years. I know people are looking for marriage advice. We're relatively new parents in the grand scheme of things, but I know a lot of you are looking for parenting advice as well. And so I'm here to help answer those questions. And so I keep them coming. The first question that I have this week is from @Ann Dagler, and she says, do you focus on small or big stuff in a new venture? And so that's a really good question, because I'm actually working on a new venture with a friend of mine. It's called TRUULY, and I'll get into the details of that later because there's a question about it. But there's no one way or the other. You focus on both, and I actually end up thinking you focus on the small stuff first, and you focus on the small stuff probably more frequently throughout, because it's really easy to dream big, and it's really easy to think like, oh, someday we'll have hundreds of designs and we'll release a tea of the week, and like we'll do all this stuff. And like I could have dreamt that dream 100 times in the last 12 years for Walk in Love, and even just now it's becoming a reality. But that's only because we've spent time focusing on the small stuff, focusing on our customer service, focusing on our products, focusing on getting people the things that they need quickly, the top quality products, the top quality prints, the top quality designs. And those things are small things. Focusing on how you ship an order from start to finish. I mean, people think like, oh, I'll just sell shirts and just ship them. Like, there's a process to that, and there's a process and a way to be efficient. How are you getting your marketing materials out? How are you creating that content? And so I think you end up focusing on 70, 80% of the time the small stuff. But that doesn't mean you don't focus on the big stuff. That doesn't mean you don't dream about the day where you're a bigger company or your business is booming. You obviously want to set those goals for those big things, and that's an important part of the process. But day to day, day in, day out, you're going to end up focusing on a lot of little things, and I think that's okay. And I think sometimes those small beginnings can kind of feel frustrating, but don't despise them. Lean into them, see what you can learn from them, and use that small beginnings to build up the character that you'll need to run a bigger business. But that's a really good question. Second question comes from @BrookeKern, and it is, how do you balance life? And so this is a question that I get all the time. Work-life balance. And I've probably answered this 3 or 4 times on the show, but I believe that it's a frequent question because it's an important question to people, because people don't want to feel out of balance. People don't want to feel like they look like a cartoon character with their hair all frizzed out, running to and fro, back and forth. And so this is what I always say to the balance question. Balance is a moving target. And that's kind of my phrase that I use because I think a lot of people look at balance and they think, okay, I need to balance my day. Every single day I need to balance what I do every day. So like, as I just explained, like I usually work 8 to 9 hours a day, and then I go home for 3 or 4 hours, or 3 hours to play with June, and then I have 2 hours kind of as quiet time or as downtime with my wife. As you can tell, that balance is off. 9 hours compared to 5 hours. I'll never feel like I'm balancing work with non-work in a single day, because I work more hours than I don't work more hours in the day. And then there are times where life is really hectic. And you end up working more than 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week or 60 hours a week. And then you start to feel really out of balance. And so I like to say that balance is a moving target. There can be seasons of life where balance is different. We're having some technical difficulties. Hold on, please, while I reset the camera. Sorry about that. We had to reset the camera. I'm a one-man show today. But yeah, so balance is a moving target. You have to, so right now I'm in a busy season. I'm running Walk in Love. I knew that my commitment to supply was about a year of doing the day in and day out. So I'm doing that, and that leads to a lot of weekend events. So I don't have a lot of family time right now, which I knew was coming. So we balanced this busy time with a really great vacation before this time, and we knew that was the purpose of that vacation. And we will probably balance it with a vacation at the end of this time, and then hopefully life will end up being less busy as these businesses grow and kind of become self-sufficient. But right now I know that I'm in that season of sort of like, wow, this is intense. There's a lot going on. But I need to have the idea that balance isn't daily. It's sometimes not even weekly. It's a lifestyle choice. And so I'm going to balance this busy season later. I'm going to balance it before busy season. And so balance is a moving target. That's the phrase that I would recommend to stick in your head if you're looking for balance, because I think often we set our goal as a daily thing, and it's really not a daily thing. Similar to diet. Like if you want to eat healthy and live healthy, you can't just look at the healthy scope of life as a day-to-day thing. Like, well, I ate healthy today, so tomorrow I can't. Like, that's going to lead to disaster. And I think balance is similar to that. So yeah, that's what I'd say about balance. Question number 3 from @GoyPhoto. What are your top 3 favorite business books? Okay, so I have 2 that pop into my head right away. One is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. The other is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, which is a relatively new book. I also really love The E-Myth. And anything that Seth Godin has written, I really like his book Tribes. Those are 4 books right there. I've read a few of Kathy books, the founder of Chick-fil-A. He's got some good stuff. Really love The Power of Habit. But I would probably start with the book Start With Why. I think that's a really good place to start because it's in the title. And then I would probably recommend how to Build a Story Brand. That's a really good book on marketing that I really, really love. So I am actually going to finish up now for the day, but I have one last question, and it's a question that people have been asking me because I've been sort of posting, hinting at something called TRUULY that I'm working on. And so the last answer, the last question of the day is from a lot of people. So it is, what is TRUULY? So basically, a couple months ago, I was feeling the frustration that a lot of people are feeling about Instagram and the algorithm that Instagram has added. And someone asked me, what's an algorithm? Well, the algorithm is what makes all of your feed out of order. So Instagram used to be this great chronological order place where you would see everyone you followed. So you would always see what I posted if you followed me. You'd always see what Walk in Love posted if you followed them. Well, Instagram, because they're run by Facebook now, wanted to kind of mirror what Facebook does, where it sort of changes the order and curates your feed and doesn't necessarily show you everything that you follow. So they've started to put things out of order. And so when I log into Instagram, I see something from 2 days ago, one day, then something from 1 day ago, then something from 20 minutes ago, and on and on and on and on it goes. And it's frustrating because as a business, from the business perspective, is that we worked really hard to gain our following. We gave away things and we create great content, and we promote and promote and promote and promote. And then it feels sort of like Instagram pulled the rug out from under us and said, sorry about all those followers you got, because now only 10% of them are going to see your stuff. And based on how those 10% respond, we might show it to the rest of the 90%. And so as a business that's built around their social influence, that is scary, because now those sales that we thought were going to be there might not be there, not because people don't love our product, because people literally might not be remembering that we exist. And so I decided, and I was talking to my friend Kyle, and I said, hey man, could you, because he's a developer, I was like, hey, could we build a social network that just promises to always keep things in order? And he's like, yeah, I could do that. And so the idea was born, and we're calling that idea TRUULY for now. And it is going to be a social network, an Instagram, Twitter hybrid that promises to keep your feed chronologically ordered forever. That is our promise, and we hope that you will join us. And so we have a beta group that you can join at jointruuly.com. That's TRUULY. And we want to see what we can do. And we're hoping for something big, obviously, because I think the market is ready for it. I think people are interested in it. I think people are tired of social networks controlling what they see and what they say and how they see it and where they see it. And I think businesses, especially creatives especially, are tired of it. People who spend so much time and effort creating content for their social platforms only to have it change, the rules change without notice. And almost, the rules are unknowable. Like, people have ideas of what gets you viewed and et cetera, but no one really knows because the algorithm isn't public knowledge. And so we want to change that. And that's why we're building TRUULY with you in mind, with you as in the forefront of our minds, because we know that you want to create great content and you want to see the people that you follow and you want to see all of it. And so if that means scrolling through thousands of photos, we want to give you that opportunity and not hide anything from you. So join us at jointruuly.com, TRUULY. We will probably have a beta in the next coming weeks, towards the end of February, but it's going to be exciting and we're really pumped up about it, and we would love for you to join us. So that is what TRUULY is. That is the last question of the day. If you guys have questions that you'd like me to answer next week, please send them in. Comment on this video, comment on my Instagram. My Instagram is at TJMousetis, at TJMousetis, or you can comment on Walk in Love's Instagram at Walk in Love. And we are thinking about making this show more of a daily thing, shorter episodes with a daily check-in. Let me know what you think about that idea. We might even just do bi-weekly to start, because right now we just do every Wednesday, but we're thinking about expanding, and I'd love to know what you think about that. Please leave your comments and let us know. We are having a huge sale right now, lots of items on sale. We're kind of clearing out our inventory, our Christmas inventory. So yeah, there's a lot of great teas for $10 and a lot of great items that are really on sale. So check that out at shopwalkinlove.com. Really appreciate you guys. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I know that there's a lot of content out there that you can consume. There's a lot of podcasts that you can watch. There's a lot of videos that you can watch. And so if you're sticking with us and watching our show, that just means the world to us. And we hope that we can add value to your lives and answer your questions so you can live a more inspirational life, so you can walk in love more, so you can follow Jesus with your whole heart more. Please keep watching and stay tuned, because we're going to have some guests, some really great guests really soon. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great week. See ya.